And here's another story showing how Hong Kong is going more and more insane as every moment passes by. So the title of this story is Uber Anger. Hong Kong cabbies smash taxi in protest against car-hailing apps. So this is another story, actually a continuation of a story from 3 weeks ago. Where originally 100 Hong Kong taxi drivers protested against Uber and other car-hailing apps. So this was another mini protest with about 20 taxi drivers attending. So basically, if you're not aware, so Uber is a mobile app that people can use to contact private individuals and basically say, I'm at location A and I want to go to location B, and people quote offers and they make agreements and then they drive them there. So a very innovative sort of app. So it's seen wide use in North America as well as Europe and Asia as well. And it looks like in Hong Kong it's hurting the Hong Kong cabbies quite a bit. And according to a spokesman for the Motor Transport Workers General Union, they've seen revenue drop by 20% after the introduction of mobile apps in Hong Kong. Now, of course, that has nothing to do with the fact that they don't accept credit card payments like other countries, and it can't have anything to do with the fact that they don't take octopus cards like many other stores and the MTRs and the buses and the minibuses and all those other things. It probably has nothing to do with the fact that the service is poor, or maybe because the drivers have really bad attitudes. You ever try to take a taxi from Hong Kong Island to Kowloon, and they try to bargain with you? They ask you to take the Western Tunnel because it's faster and more expensive. Of course, they don't want to take the Eastern Tunnel because it's slower, right? Very interesting. It has nothing to do with those things. It has nothing to do with poor service and all the other ailments that might afflict any other business. Oh, but this isn't any real business, because you see, the Hong Kong taxi service is regulated by the government. And guess what? You know how many other people are officially competing against the government? No one. So, you ever play that game, Monopoly? You know, the guy with the top hat and the funny glasses, and he owns everything? Yeah, so basically, this is a real monopoly. Hong Kong does not allow anybody else to offer taxi services. So how's that working out? Well, of course, when you don't have any competition, there's no real reason to work better or to work harder because, well, you're not going to lose your job. And cabbies understand this at some subconscious level, and so they're protesting and they want the government to step in. Now, I didn't know this, but apparently the Transport Department already has a law in place that an individual who uses a private car for the carriage of passengers for hire or reward must obtain a hire car permit. And anyone who does this and violates the regulation could be jailed up to 3 months and fined up to $5,000. So the law is already on the books, but it doesn't look like they're really holding up the law currently. But the fact that the law is already there means that the government already foresaw the fact that the taxi service sucks. And you have to think about this. You know, people try to make the idea that the Hong Kong taxi service is like a real business. Now, I've already highlighted why it's not a business. It's a monopoly. And let's just make this example even more clear. If I went to McDonald's and they sell chicken burgers, or, well, you think they're chicken, whatever the ingredients may be, they advertise them as chicken. And you go to KFC and they also advertise burgers that are allegedly made of chicken. If KFC burgers were somehow cheaper for whatever reason, would McDonald's then go and petition the government and say that, oh, our revenues are down 20% for our chicken burgers, so Hong Kong government, you got to come in here and you got to stop these evil KFC guys because we're losing profits. Now, of course, anybody who looked at this idea or heard of it would laugh them out. In fact, the taxi drivers wouldn't support that either because they don't want to pay higher prices for their horrible chicken burgers at McDonald's. But guess what? When they're the ones that are making money off of monopoly, when it benefits them, then they're not happy. What a surprise. Now, what has been mentioned in the comments, and you can take a look yourself, I'm not going to mention all of them, but basically, a lot of complaints about the taxi service, bargaining, about drivers on shift change. At around 5 or 6, they have to do a shift change, and then it's too far, I don't want to go there. Sometimes they won't even take you there because it's too far. They just don't want to take you. Because if you're in Causeway Bay and you have to drive all the way up to Tin Soi Wai, then they think it's too far, and they have to drive all the way back, so it's not worth it. So they'll just reject you. Well, why are you surprised? If you give shitty-ass service, why are you surprised that nobody wants to take your shitty-ass taxis? So, taxi drivers, Hong Kong government, go fuck yourselves.